The end of Season 1 had more jobs pop up other than just the Newcastle one. Not to mention, the Euros happened, which France won, and then that caused even more movement for the managers. Such as Thomas Frank leaving Brentford to become the England boss, which hilariously led to Southgate taking his former role at Brentford. Lukaku is named player of the tournament at the Euros and Golden Boot winner, so Dad was really excited to get him back into the team. But I finally made my mind up about the Newcastle job. I'm going to apply for it, but I'm not going to put my heart set on moving just for now, as I actually think they'll probably won't pick me anyway, so I'm going to try and sign Gyökeres for Leipzig on the chance that I stay put in Germany. However, it isn't long before they're inviting me to Newcastle for an interview. And just like that, I'm in the Premier League. And it was easy to see why things had gone wrong for Eddie Howe by some of his arranged signings. I was also starting the season with no assistant manager, 0 coaches, and only 4 scouts in my backroom staff. And hilariously, Jose Mourinho took my job at Leipzig. What a summer we had.
Unbelievable.
Very eventful.
What can I say?
And I've got a new club.
Welcome to the Premier League. There was me hoping I could just breeze through the Premier League without getting involved in you. And second season, bang, you're in with me already. And I think, oh, and you two trophies in the bank as well.
£250 million in my transfer budget as well. Oh, well. Okay.
I was like that to sort of like, shall I apply for it as well? And I thought, I don't like being disappointed, so I didn't go for it.
Don't let me rejected. Yeah. Well, I had £250 million. What did I use to spend it on? Well, £56 million on the outs as well did add up. Now, there was some downsides. They already had Scott McTominay join in. But they also had some really cracking players too from last season. So in the January window, they brought in Pedro Gonçalves. They brought in Guonar Duarath, who I don't think is around much. Demina is in the youth academy right now. Valentin Gomez isn't a bad centre-back or left-back. Bruno Notte as well is quite a good signing there from Brighton.
I think the Scott McTominay is the one that got him sacked.
Probably. That is probably the one that helped him get sacked. But I then spent £283 million, but you got to take away the £28 million from Lewis Hall because that was already a pre-done deal with yourself at Chelsea. Ousmane Diomande was the first signing that I made. Centre-back option, really good, of course. They needed a good centre-back to go next to Botman, with Cher being a little bit 33 now, a little bit, and I want to push, obviously, for a little bit more. Then I thought, well, the other weak points is the striker option, so I went with Ollie Watkins. Now, there was a story, wasn't there? Because while I was waiting for the Newcastle job at Leipzig, I said to Dad, well, I don't think I'm going to get the Newcastle job. And I know what I want to do for Leipzig. I want a better striker, and I want to go for Gyökeres at Sporting. He looks like the striker for me.
To be honest with you, there was only one more trophy you could go for with Leipzig, wasn't it? And it was the Champions League. So you had to go big and get some really good players in, didn't you? Yeah. To win that. So
which I don't think I would have anyway, but what my plan was...
Oh, you went for a striker though, weren't you?
Yeah, my plan is if I got rejected from Newcastle, which I generally thought would happen because of only having one season in the game, is I would stay at Leipzig. I would try and win more trophies there because then my reputation would be higher. Yeah. But I would come back every month and check the jobs. Yeah. And that's what we're going to do going forward. When we're simulating the season, instead of holidaying all the way through, we're either going to come back in January and do our January windows, which we looked at doing in the first season, but we neither of us had any money. No. Or if we're looking for jobs, keep coming back and finding out if there's any jobs. And that's what I plan to do. However, Newcastle came in, and I'd already confirmed the Gyökeres deal, and I was absolutely gutted. So I went for Ollie Watkins as the first pickup.
But he's still a good signing.
Really good signing, yeah. I mean, last season he got 13 and 35 for Aston Villa, of course, finishing third place, I think. But then I also ended up signing Victor Osimhen for £86 million as well.
Two players I happened to mention back along about playing for Spurs.
Yeah.
In my wishes.
Then we got 8 goals in 4 appearances from that. So, yeah, he started off quite well, to be honest. Yeah. Left back, Alex Grimaldo, £24 million. I think they needed a good left back, to be fair. I think they had brought in a left back, but it wasn't anywhere near as good. And then finally, the goalkeeper situation. Mamardashvili came in goal, the Georgian, your favourite goalkeeper, for £39 million.
One of my favourite goalkeepers.
You have got quite a few. On the outs was the likes of Matt Targett, Jacob Murphy, Jamal Lewis, Sean Longstaff,
Even Karius went out for a loan with a thing to buy as well. There's quite a few on the outs. And tactically, I've set myself up very similar to Leipzig, but almost in a different way because I've got the winger options in Pedro Gonçalves. We've got obviously Anthony Gordon, and Harvey Barnes is in the club as well. And the reason why I've got a player here instead of down here, which where I played all the way through the summer, was because I had a bad injury to Bruno Guimaraes, my best player, who broke his ankle and is now out for another 2 months. Unfortunately, every single time I was selecting a best 11
so
down
funny.
there, it was coming up with Scott McTominay, whereas I would rather have Joe Linton. So moving him forward gives me the options to have Joe Willock, Almiron, and Joe Linton all ahead of Scott McTominay, which is what I'd much rather do. Because even on the game, he's a far better player than Scott McTominay is. So I'd rather do that, unfortunately. So I haven't got a best 11 selected. Well, I haven't got anybody that I want to change because the best 11 I'm quite happy with. Isaac and Osman up front with, coming off the bench, Callum Wilson and Ollie Watkins. What can go wrong there? Not bad at all. Let's have a look at what Dad's done before we have a look at the schedule, shall we? So, Dad, you had a little bit of money and you ended up spending quite a lot because you sold a lot.
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher going out for 25.
I started getting rid of players that I didn't use very much, and I just thought, well, I've got better in the squad, and I could probably improve on it.
Yeah.
And a couple of players I was selling because I was chasing other players as well when I did to make up the money.
Yeah. So you've got Gallagher going out, Cucurella going out. You've got Disasi to Real Madrid and Chalobah to Real Madrid for over £30 million each. Petrovic, which was a backup goalkeeper, and Robert Sanchez, which was the original goalkeeper. And that's because
That tells you that I signed a keeper.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
One of the best in the game, though.
This is the one I was chasing mainly. When I seen it was available to buy, I went for that. Was the one that I was selling players for to try and get.
Yeah.
I just thought, well, if I can get him in, we know through past experience, you get him in, you've got a really good keeper on your books, and
Yeah, absolutely. So you won't need to change it next season.
I definitely won't be changing him
We'll see.
unless I move teams, and I'll try and get him again.
Yeah. But on the ins outside of that, your first signing was Zaniolo, 30 million.
Yeah, I wanted to get another winger in. I wasn't happy with the winger I had at the stage.
Mudryk.
I mean, I was open to put Sterling to the left, wasn't I?
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. So I was looking for a right winger, but Sterling stayed, and this guy went left wing. So.
And then you got Scalvini, which was your highest paid transfer, £83 million in total.
Well, we know Silva was getting quite old now, didn't we? So it was a case I knew I was losing a really good centre back, so I had to get one in. So this is the guy I got in,
and he is brilliant. Only 20.
At 20 as well, yeah.
4 goals in 4 appearances. He's got a hat trick.
So when I was saying I needed a new striker, I didn't think I'd be getting a centre back with my striker.
No, but you did get a striker though. You brought in Pedro.
I got this striker in, but I really got 2 strikers, didn't I? When Lukaku
You did.
came back.
Lukaku did come back, yeah.
So I've got Lukaku up front with this guy beside him.
Yeah. And
So
you haven't changed your tactic.
No. So I've got a new strike force, new defence, new keeper. So
All you've changed is the player role of the DLF up front because that's Pedro's favourite role, and he's probably better than that than a centre forward or complete forward on support, which it was previously.
But I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a better squad than I had last season. So I'm hoping that I'll improve and hopefully win the league. That's what I'm trying to do. 'Cause if I can win the league, I can go off somewhere and get away from you.
Yeah. You also picked up 2 bad injuries though.
Yeah,
Dybala is out for 3 to 5 months with damaged Achilles tendon, so he looks like he's just destined to be injured for you after his bad injury last season. And then Wesley Fofana, again, out for 4 weeks to 2 more months after breaking his foot at the end of July. So he's already missed a month, so he was out for 3 months. So a couple of really bad injuries. Sterling's out at the minute as well for a twisted ankle, which was another 2 weeks at least. So you have also had the bad injuries. But for you eagle-eyed viewers, first in the Premier League so far, Dad. Won all 4 games.
I've had a good start.
You even beat West Brom 9-0.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my next game is the most interesting one that we've been looking at for laughing boys as well, haven't we?
Yes.
I got Gareth Southgate.
Gareth Southgate's Brentford, and Thomas Frank and Gareth Southgate just switched jobs, which was hilarious. And you've got my old club Leipzig in the Champions League.
That's what I'm not looking forward to.
Send my regards to Jose Mourinho.
I already know they've got a good striker.
Yeah, they just signed Gyökeres, of course. I didn't give them much money outside of that, so they didn't really have much to play with. It literally, I bought Gyökeres for the whole of the budget.
Yeah.
So they didn't have anything to play around with, but he is an unbelievable striker. I'm so gutted that I confirmed that deal, because I probably would have signed him instead of Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, you
must
would have
admit.
yeah.
I probably would have got him and Victor Osimhen instead.
But yeah, what a start. I'm pleased with that. I'm scoring goals.
Scoring a lot of goals. West Ham 4-1, which is obviously a bit of a derby, as well as Spurs as well. That's always a really good game, isn't it?
A result away from home.
Yeah,
well.
2-1.
Yeah.
So you've played 3 London-based clubs already,
Yeah.
beating Crystal Palace 2 as well, 2-1. So good start. Your Champions League fixtures look like this. Leipzig, of course, then Milan, Celtic, PSV Eindhoven, Barcelona, Juve, Anderlecht and Copenhagen. It gets easier as it goes along, but that start is a little bit scary with the former club and Milan.
I'll take it, though, because if I can win my home games, and my last 2 games are at home, I'm through.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're 2, what I would class is quite easily winnable games.
Absolutely. And you've got like the 2 easier ones are away, which means you play the good teams at home, gives you a bit of an advantage.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Now so I'll be disappointed if I don't go for it.
Yeah, I think you should too. Now, weirdly, I'm also in a European competition because of the UEFA Conference League, which I wasn't really too pleased with because, of course, that counts for nothing on Glory Hunter. We're not using it as part of it, but there we go. But my schedule looks like this, and I did drop points once against Leeds after being 3-0 down. Victor Osimhen scored 2 and Callum Wilson got 1 as well to put me back on level terms, but that was all I could get out of them. I beat Sarajevo in the qualifications 4-1 and 5-3 after playing a bit of a rotated side, but I did beat Manchester United, who is still Diego Simeone's Manchester United, 3-2. Good win. Victor Osimhen with the winner there. We then got Wolves, beat them 5-2. Great result again. And then Southampton, newly promoted Southampton, 7-1. So I'm also scoring a lot of goals, but I'm also shipping goals as well, which is a little bit worrying for me. I haven't kept a clean sheet just yet, despite having new defenders and a new goalkeeper. But there we go. So I am in the UEFA Conference League, and I've got to play 6 games. Zagreb, 20, Austria Vienna, Zelenzen, Nikar, Djurgårdens, and SJK. The only thing I could think is if I do win that, which I should be one of the favourites to do so, then it's an extra trophy in my cabinet for my managerial profile.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
To be attractive to other clubs when eventually I move on from Newcastle. And who knows, I might realise in a couple of seasons' time I'm not going to get anywhere with Newcastle. I need to move to a better club, and I take Dad's job at Chelsea when he gets sacked. Who knows?
After I've won the Premier League.
Yeah, alright, okay. Well, season number 2 of Glory Hunter started off with a bang, but how does it finish?
I've got to really go for it now, though, and I've really got to go for it with you getting 2 trophies in the bag already.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on, how do you lot out there who honestly thought one of us would win 2 trophies in one country?
Straight in the first season.
In the first season,
yeah.
I didn't, so
yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, alright, okay. Let's have a look, see what happens. Season number 2.
The 2 sides met more than just the league games, also meeting in the Carabao Cup. Annoyingly for Dad, it means nothing coming back from 3-1 down in the semi-final first leg, knocking me out 4-3 on aggregate, because it doesn't count towards Glory Hunter. However, he also does have the chance to knock me out of the FA Cup in the 3rd round. And just like Dad's League Cup run, I was dominating teams in a competition that doesn't count towards our trophy cabinet. But hold on, I was also dominating another competition too, the Premier League. And it just so happens that a match against my father became the most important match of the season, as with 2 games to go, Newcastle head to Stamford Bridge needing just a win to lift the Premier League title.
I don't believe that. How can you go from one league to another league and win the league both times?
From out of nowhere.
Did we say this was a 5-year challenge?
It might be. It could be.
Oh, bling you know.
I mean, we played against each other at the end of the season there, which you could have stopped me from winning the league.
Well, you won the league by a point, and I lost against you the second to the end.
Second to last game.
So I could have stopped you from winning the league then.
You could have, but you didn't. And Newcastle are champions. Unbelievable. 1 point above Manchester City. I actually nearly threw it away. I did actually lose at the end of the season there. So that game that I beat you,
won you the league.
Won me the league.
That's even worse.
In your ground. Unbelievable. And I lost to Spurs a couple of games before that. That is hilarious. I lost 7 games in total, Dad. Liverpool, Tottenham, Villa, Man United, Brentford, Man City, and Fulham. How many games did you only lost 9, so you didn't lose that many because we drew the same amount. You're only 6 points behind me.
Yeah.
It was actually really close up there. If you consider that, I mean, again, The difference between you and then the team below you, 17 points.
I was never going to go any lower than that, was I?
No, it was top 5, and that is it for us. It was just who finished where in the top 5. But yeah, you lost 9 games. You lost 9-0 to Man City. 9-0.
Well,
that is hilarious.
They were top league at the time.
They were top. You also beat them, though, 5-0.
Oh, I had to get my own back on, right?
That's crazy. So going down was Palace, Southampton and West Brom, but we don't really care about that. All we care about is the winner of the Premier League, and that is Omega Luke. Oh, yes. 7 losses only, which is actually still quite a lot, to be fair. 83 points to 82. I had 2 top goal scorers in there. Isak and Osimhen.
That's good.
Yeah. Isak had the highest average rating, and Kunku, you had the 3 highest assisters.
Yeah.
All in one goal, which is pretty special.
The problem is that the goalkeepers, I wanted the clean sheets tonight. I think I'd have done better if I'd done that.
Yeah, I think for a clean sheet, Dad, you might need to play a little bit more tactical in defence.
Well, that's why I got one of the best keepers in the world for, though.
Well, yeah, but still, you need to give him a bit of help. Just sticking everybody up front. But there we go. Okay, we're on Chelsea. Cups. You're in the FA Cup. You're in the Champions League. That's all to play for this season. Oh, but you won the one that doesn't count. Still, it's good, though.
That's not, though, is it?
Yeah, but you get that on your manager profile.
Yeah.
Which is better than not having that on your manager profile. It's just annoying because you could have won the FA Cup. You were eliminated by West Ham in the 5th round. Knocked out in the knockout playoff round by Atletico Madrid. So I'm not in this competition, so we can check it now. Man City beat Liverpool in the final. Wow. The league phase, you won 3 games there. 3 games you should have won. You beat Leipzig.
Yeah. Jose
Mourinho's Leipzig. You drew 2, and then you lost 3. Oh, that's bad. Yeah. You shouldn't be losing to Juve. To Celtic, sorry. Shouldn't be losing to Celtic. But there we go. Okay. But Carabao Cup. Who did you beat in the final? Arsenal.
I'll take that.
That's not bad at
Thank
all.
You very much, yeah.
In the semi-final, you beat me. Oh. I mean, as we said, no points on this.
No.
It's literally just whoever has the most trophies at the end. So beating each other is just bragging rights in this one.
Winning the trophy is not good to me, though, is it? I mean, like you say, it's just a case of it's on my record, isn't it?
Yeah. Goes on your manager profile for when you eventually want to move on. But yeah, that's a good semi-final, though. You beat me 4-3. I think what was I 3-1 up in the first leg. Okay. Let's have a look then. Omega Luke. Newcastle. Probably a Newcastle legend now. How do we get on? Yes! Won the Europa Conference League. Again, it doesn't matter for glory hunter purposes, but it's another trophy in the cabinet. You knocked me out of the FA Cup as well.
I'd stop you from winning something.
You knocked me out of both competitions.
I'd rather stop you winning the league.
You had a chance.
Yeah, I know.
You had a big chance. You could have done it. But yeah, I beat 7-0 in the final. Jesus Christ. Was there any hope for these clubs? I beat Roma in the semi-final, quarter-final, Wolfsburg. I was playing some decent sides, to be fair. Round of 16, knocked out Dinamo Zagreb 9-4 on aggregate. Didn't play in that one, but I played in the league phase. Oh, I lost 2 games in that. Gordons and Austria Vienna, who I beat in the final 7-0. That was payback. Unbelievable. Victor Osimhen played in that division. Scored 12 goals. Crazy stuff. Can't believe it. Uh, 36 goals for Victor Osimhen, 31 for Isak, 20 for Gonçalves and Ollie Watkins, which is really good. 15 assists for Trippier and Gonçalves, but Trippier is leaving. He wanted to explore his options at the end of the season. Grimaldo and Anthony Gordon
not bad, though.
with 10.
34, you've had a good service out of him.
Yeah,
I think you'd look to replace him anyway, wouldn't you?
Well, I've got Tino Livramento, who's okay, to be fair, who can slot in, but maybe I can... But if they give me a lot of money, who knows? £241 million.
You just had 250 off them.
To have a crack at the FA Cup and have a crack at the Champions League.
Oh, no, that could be trouble for me, couldn't it?
What did you get? 77 million.
Yeah, but look at my wage budget, look.
That's still not bad.
It's not, is it, really?
Still not bad. You can have a go. Maybe you want to have a look at some other jobs.
Well, what's on offer then?
Let's have a look. Any jobs going right now? Eintracht Frankfurt.
That's a no then, isn't it?
They're in 8th place in the Bundesliga, which was won by Bayern Munich Leipzig finished in 4th place.
We did notice there was a few changes in the Premier League as well, didn't we?
There was a lot of managerial changes, yeah. If we go to the Premier League here, we can see the manager movements. So Ange Postecoglou was the West Brom manager. He isn't anymore. Thomas Frank, of course, left for Gareth Southgate. Ange Postecoglou was out at the start of the season, or in October, sorry, and then it's on Slot. So Ange has been sacked twice
in one
season.
season.
Simeone was sacked for Zidane. The West Brom manager and the West Ham manager both left the clubs. Iraola was sacked. Eric Ten Hag has come in. Andy Reid was sacked at Forest. Eddie Howe's come in. Hasenhüttl left because he went to a new job and Iraola took his job. Dyche was sacked and Kieran McKenna came in, the Ipswich manager.
Yeah.
And Steven Schumacher was the ex-Argyle manager, came in at Southampton for Russell Martin. So there's been a lot of changes in the Premier League, and there's probably going to be a lot of changes elsewhere too. But right now there's only one job available, which is the Eintracht Frankfurt job, and there's no insecure club jobs around the world. So it all depends whether that creates a manager merry-go-round, whether I decide to leave and create one myself.
Well,
but I've got to
go to Germany, would you?
No, I ain't got to go to Germany. No, absolutely not. No, thank you. Don't need to do that. Completed it.
Been there, done that.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the updated trophy cabinet before we move on to season number 3. So despite Dad's Chelsea side winning some silverware with the League Cup, it's still an empty trophy cabinet for Glory Hunter. But again, the Europa Conference League is another trophy that doesn't count. But good job for Dad, really, as I, of course, now add the Premier League title to the 2 that I've already won in just the 2nd season.